Radio, the Happy Gang on what is it, Wednesday? Yes, it is. And a blue sky out there, and we have company.
Yes, we do have company. First of all, I want to tell you that from now until the 28th, you can head to the Harbourfront Centre Theatre, Robbie, and you can see a tremendous production from the Groundling Theatre Company of Lear, which for some reason, which we're about to find out, includes Colin Mochrie. Colin Mochrie is in the studio along with Graham Abbey, the director. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in this morning. Nice to see you.
Yeah, that was pretty good. You got a job, I think.
He's going to need one.
Exactly. So people came to me when they found out that you were going to be on the show, Colin, this morning, and they said, wait a minute. Colin Mochrie is doing Shakespeare. Is this a send-up of Lear? Is this a spoof? What is this?
It's Lear. It's not. It's the play Lear. The only thing different about it is a woman is playing Lear, the incredible Shauna McKenna. And just based on that alone, you should run down, get your tickets, because she is amazing in this. It's a great cast. And for some reason, Graham had a lapse in judgment and asked me whether I would do it. And it gave me the right amount of fear, and I said, sure.
Wow.
Right?
So, Graham, you don't look regretful.
Not at all. Not at all.
Still early.
As I said to Colin, we had one preview last night. I said, I didn't know there's so much comedy in King Lear. But no, I've tried to woo Colin for many years into many projects, but this one is a beautiful fit for him.
For people who are walking through the door expecting there to be Lear with some, because I mean, you know, it's the elephant in the room. Let's acknowledge for a second whose line is it anyway, and that millions of people are aware of your off-the-charts skills as an improv artist. If they're expecting you to be improving your way around Shakespeare, that's not happening.
Oh, that would just destroy it in a second.
Yeah.
That was my big... I didn't want to be the person who destroyed this production of Lear. I actually learned lines. I had motivations, intentions.
See?
And I have to say, working with this cast, I feel like a guy from a beer league who's been thrown into the NHL All-Star game. Every one of these actors are just amazing, and they're also incredibly generous and being incredibly kind, as has Graham. And it's just been a great experience for me. I've learned so much in the last month, and so happy I did it.
It's amazing what those Sal Mineo acting lessons will do.
I take it you don't play to a young audience. Sal Mineo.
Well, look at me. Why would I?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you use the term generous, and Graham, you as both an actor in your own right and the director of this show, talk about what generous means in the theater world, because, you know, people come to think of the word generous as, you know, I'll pick up the coffee for the person in line behind me at Tim Hortons or something like that. But what does it mean in theater circles?
Well, I mean, it's amazing. Colin's being very modest. Of course, with Shakespeare, we have those beautiful lines and words we speak, but there's some play in between. And it was evidenced last night. I'll embarrass Colin now, but, you know, as soon as you get an audience and people in a room, you see that natural connection and generosity Colin has as a performer. And as I've always said from the start, what attracted me to Colin in this project is his heart. You know, Shakespeare's Fool has a caustic side to him, that the comedy's underneath. And not that Colin is caustic, but he has a natural charm and generosity in, as we all know, in what he does. So it comes through in spades when you put it in a live space. I mean...
And there's, I didn't know if you were going to jump in there for a second.
No, I let him go on. Sounds good.
Tell me more about me.
Tell me more about me.
But I mean, especially for Shakespeare, so many of the various characters in different Shakespeare plays, it's the fool who sometimes, or in other productions, it's a Rosencrantz or someone like that, who will give the line that if it's not delivered perfectly, it does. It kills it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and the fool in this one, fools very often in Shakespeare plays are the truth tellers too. So they speak the truth underneath it, I guess.
Yeah, he's sort of the Stephen Colbert of Shakespeare. He's there to trying to keep Lear on the path of, I guess, self-discovery. teach Lear about what, in this case, she has done wrong and how she has ruined pretty much everyone's life. So it's a lot of fun. And again, working with these guys, it's just I just can't tell you how much of a pleasure it is working with these people.
So we want to know, and so do thousands of other people who are listening. How do we get tickets?
Well, yes, funny you asked that. No, you can go to leartoronto.com is where tickets are. You can phone the Harbourfront Centre Theatre box office, and we open on the 12th and run till the 28th. Yeah.
So was it the chance to work with all of these actors, Colin, that kind of piqued your interest? Because I mean, you're a very busy guy. Your name is in my inbox 6 or 7 times because you're touring right now as well, outside of Lear. So if you're going to suddenly carve out a couple of weeks in a busy actor's schedule, what was it about this project that just made you go, oh yeah?
Certainly the cast was a big reason. Also, acting is a muscle I don't really get to use a lot. So I love being outside of my comfort zone. That's what my whole career has been based on. And you can't really get much farther out of your comfort zone than being with this cast and doing Shakespeare. And I love a challenge. And I find when I'm panicking and challenged, that's when I do my best work. So I try to keep myself in a constant state of panic.
I love it you say that because I've said to so many people, like Colin says he's panicked about Shakespeare. I'm like, if you stuck me in front of a crowd trying to improv, it would be my worst nightmare. But I guess. And
so for the other actors, and I mean, you can speak to this as well. So you're in this production, and then you find out that one of the, let's call them perhaps lesser characters, is being portrayed by this person that's got all of this name recognition walking through the door. Where does that place the rest of the cast? Does that make them go, is there that reaction of, it's almost like when you've traded for the MVP from last year's team, or where does that go for the rest of the cast?
It's pretty good. I mean, as Colin says, this cast is a pretty veteran cast. From we have Jim Mizon, who's done many leads at Shaw, and of course Shauna McKenna, who's had an extraordinary career. Kevin Hanchard, to name others, Deb Hay. So it's a nice balance. But I would say, the character of the fool in any production of Lear, I think, stands somewhat outside of the play. He or she, whoever plays it, has their own ideology, and they really step outside the milieu of the play. So it doesn't change the dynamic, really, if you have someone like Colin pop in. But it's been a really nice balance, and that's a credit to Colin's modesty as a performer, I think, and everybody else welcoming him in. But it's a real tight ensemble. I'm really proud of them.
Are we going to see you do any more serious theatre anytime soon?
That's not up to me. Let's see how it goes.
Colin's going to erase my number.
I absolutely, I would love to, because as I said, it's a muscle I don't get to exercise much, and it's I just love the experience of it. It's nice to, with improv, you don't get a chance to fix your mistakes. Once you do something, that's it. It's gone, and the show is pretty much dead after you've done it. You can never go to someone and say, what did you see in the show, that improv show? And you tell them, and you go, well, that's not funny.
Right,
you had to be there. With this, it's a living organism. You get to go back and hone certain parts. I love that you constantly work at it.
Yeah, it's like a body of work within itself.
Exactly, yeah.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. Colin, Mochrie, Graham, Abbey. The show is called Lear. And yes, Shakespeare's Lear. It's going on at the Harbourfront Centre Theatre. It goes on until the 28th. Ticket info again is
leartoronto.com.
Gentlemen, thanks for coming in. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And can we still say break a leg?
You can.
Okay.
Please do, yeah.
Thank you again for coming in and joining us. Happy Gang here, 19 minutes after 9 o'clock right now with Happy Gang.
3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
What is your new you resolution?